Talk about living large on someone else's dime. A new report revealing retired government workers pulling in over $100 grand a year. And we're all paying for it. This guy, a former state official, snagging nearly $500,000 a year. Toby, you say it's time to cut our tax burden by cutting these cushy pensions, huh?
Well, they're clearly unsustainable. And, you know, General Motors went on for 10 years and they just went bankrupt. They could do that. In this case, these cities can't go bankrupt. We have to actually pass legislation that brings this to a sustainable number. You can do the math. Anybody can do the math. You have to have the backbone to enforce it. It's time to do it now, because otherwise they're going to be like these cities in California and elsewhere that go totally bankrupt. These guys are going to get zero, which maybe they deserve.
Well, Gary B., should these pensioners be forced to take a cut in their benefits, or should we do it later? Should we start a contract later?
Yeah, look, I agree with everything Toby said for the future. But the issue is for these people that already signed these agreements, went through these things, this is just the fruits of their labor. Now, whether you think it's outrageous or not is besides the point. A deal is a deal. They went to work for the government. They probably gave up a lot of other stuff in theory, and they got these hefty pensions. Hey, all well and good for them. Now, for the future, the governments can decide, hey, we don't want to offer these great pensions, and they have to weigh that against attracting good people or average people or whatever. So, yes, in the future, great. And, you know, for the people that already get them, well, you know, they made a good deal, and good for them.
Hey, that's what they said at GM, by the way. There is no future.
Gary B. so charitable, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, Eric, ultimately, this is taxpayer money paying for these pensions. And when we take a hit on our 401ks, we take the hit.
Great point, Brenda. Let's take CalPERS, for example. We use California as the example. CalPERS lost, the pension fund in California, lost 24% of the fund with bad stock bets. Now they have a couple of choices. They can tax. They already voted that down. They could fix the problem by deferring payments to these pension recipients. The problem is they don't want the deferred payment, or they can try and wait the whole mess out and hope the market comes back for them.
What's fair here?
Well, I think, for one thing, I'm really surprised. I actually agree with Gary here. I don't think I've ever agreed with him on anything. But what we're really talking about, if we take away these pension payments, most of these people who are receiving these are getting between $25,000 and $35,000 a year. Yeah. Okay, I don't want to cut anything from a retiree, 70, 80, or 90 years old, getting $25,000 to $35,000 a year. Okay, that's appalling. There's a very small percentage of people who are actually getting the big bucks. Most of them are actually firemen and police officers. They've got an extra benefit where they can get a higher pension, okay, which I think is totally fine.
Right.
I think it's appalling to try to take money away from some of these pensions.
Pat, but Toby mentioned backbone. Ultimately, it's politicians who are going to have to do this, and in California, they voted down a similar measure.
Yeah, ultimately, it comes back to the taxpayers, i.e. the voters, who have voted for the folks who put these in place for years and years and years. Because this is not news, gang. This has been going on for a long time, these overly generous benefits. So, folks, if you don't like them, if you think they're overly generous, change your vote.
All right, that's got to be the last word. Thanks, guys. Forget those retired workers cashing in on us. Coming up, get a cheap luxury summer getaway that'll give you a 20% gain by Labor Day. Plus, Michael Jackson fans everywhere scrambling to get their hands on loved one. It's turning one company and one stock into a downright thriller.
Introducing Applebee's new Pick and Pair lunch menu, featuring our all-new real sliders. Give your taste buds a little TLC with our